Good evening and welcome to Edessa the Dark Crusade and to a scene within the city itself, Edessa. Um, the former haven of Ulrich is a place that Madeline knows well. She spent many nights and days, actually, sleeping with Ulrich in the basement back in the day. She knows this place well. And there are some fond memories, but those days are long gone. Tonight she's here for quite a different reason. She has a small bag with her and her two ghouls by her side. They seem a lot more tense than normal. They seem to not give her that much space. They seem to be almost following her, well, not directly behind her, but not giving her that much space. And for anyone looking, it wouldn't seem as though she is bothered by being followed more closely. It might actually have been her decree, who knows? Regardless, she arrives at this this place, and she will just greet the doorman. The doorman, or the people there, have seen her before, and she will just say, I am here to say the lady at the house. Please, uh, if you have food and drink, my two companions would love a bite. And the ghouls would just thank her, and Madeline will uh, head up the stairs.
Okay. Mm, I think the old, well, nun, um, was actually Irene's old nursing maid. So, but I think she would try to lead you to is custom to meet like with visitors. But if you are basically like just going your own way and just kind of ignore her as
She's
per
going her
usual.
own way, and Madeline will take
Yeah.
pretty much every opportunity to shun this old nun because, yeah, she doesn't really have
Poor
time for
lady.
anyone in cloth, like, especially nuns. That's like, yeah, like, get out of here. Like, she just, or either disregards or is actively, like, spiteful towards her. She just shakes her head. And she will enter and she will
Oh.
do a curtsy as she enters. She knocks before, of course.
Well, yeah, the ghoul will then take your ghouls down to the kitchen so that they can have food and drink. And yeah, where would you go?
Up to the study.
Study, okay. Let me see. Yeah, I think that would be a pretty logical location for Irene to be. I'm trying to remember if anyone has actually told her about what has happened. Um, no, no, I don't think so. So, yeah, Irene is probably frantically writing letters, which seems to be requests for visits. If Madeline would give him a quick look, one is actually for Madeline herself. If she would give it a more thorough look.
Hmm.
And but yeah, as Madeline enters, Irene will actually for once kind of almost seem to forget etiquette as she shoves her seat backwards, um, runs over until halfway through the study, then just stops, and there's definitely a look of almost anxiety on her face.
Madeline
She
just
looks
has a very,
tired,
very.
but she stops and curtsies.
Madeline just, please. And she smiles very openly and opens her arms. We are close enough to be family at this point. We are family by blood in the same that we are, well, of the same clan, but please, no need to stand on formality. And she seems to open her arms, welcoming you in for a hug.
Hmm. Wow. Let me see. How would Irene respond to that? She would. Yeah, she would not refuse the hug, but it's obvious that it's not something that she is accustomed to. Um, so it feels a bit stiff.
Relax, my dear. It is quite all right.
Pray tell, did you have do you have good news from the palace?
Oh, I forget. Well, you can see that she has a small satchel with her. He just says, well, not really. I was a bit, well, I was relieved to know that you were not there. I did not see you, but I assume you have a good reason. Or, well, I suppose. The fact that what happened, it is a good enough reason that you were not there, but I am still curious. I was expecting to see you. Dangers
I
has
would have
not
been there.
seemed to be a detergent before you before.
No, I
Deterrence, sorry.
I was making myself ready, but Ulrich had a task, and he told me to come along.
Oh? You have had an excursion yourself? Please.
Yes, we went outside of the city. Please, I beg you, tell me what happened.
The tactician,
Is
the
she
wishing woman, and that monster you described were at the palace. I am not entirely certain how powerful they are, but vastly more powerful than me. A Cappadocian, perhaps the prince, perhaps the wishing woman, perhaps someone else, made certain disruptions. I am quite certain that I saw the spirits of the dead without using any of my abilities. And I do believe that that monster would not be able to, well, be around if it was not for the fact that the world, at least very locally, changed.
I see.
The prince and the sheriff is dead.
What?
I know. My previous fears have come true. Remember what we talked about last time? This is the only reason, well, one of the main reasons I am here is to say that you must find another place of residence within the city if you intend to stay in Edessa. I,
Um,
myself, have moved from my residence. It was known to other people. It is no longer safe. Neither is this place.
um, I'm sorry. That's well. I must say I'm not completely surprised about the prince. I did see him in a picture as hanged man after all.
True. The
I'm
reason I
sorry.
am not more, what shall we call it? panicked is that the tactician and the wishing woman did not seem to wish any harm on us. They ignored us. They simply did not see us as a danger. And I am quite certain, for whatever reason, that their interest in this city have diminished with the death of the prince.
Do we know why?
As some of us predicted, this seems to be the part of a much grander design. If it is that, then this is merely a stepping stone on the road to something vastly more important. We can praise ourselves lucky if this is the case.
Mm-hmm. Did you see the shadow and tentacle person? Or person, thing? Not quite sure if it is a person even.
Hmm. No.
Strange. I've expected it to show up.
Perhaps it was there. Quite a few things happening, and I was focused on catching up to Joanna. Unfortunately, I was prevented by the wishing woman. She held me back for just long enough for the demon possessing Joanna to, I believe, finish its task, although I am not quite certain what its task was.
Did anyone go and investigate yet?
Undoubtedly, some of the Cappadocians must have done so by now. It was their clanmate who was their prince, of course.
True.
But Madeline just begins to crack a smile. It was not completely, well, fruitless. I managed to save some things from that place.
Maybe if we can get into the basement, we can try and figure out what this demon was after. I didn't expect the sheriff to go.
No, he was a dutiful man, defending his prince.
Yeah.
Do not think of me as a monster when I say this, but do keep in mind that the departure of these two at once leads our seneschal, Ulrich's grandsire, in a most favorable position to become prince.
But also in a dangerous one.
Undoubtedly. I would not be too surprised if he would forego the honor, given the current climate. We have been quite fortunate. Our clan has not suffered greatly. Some of our rivals are weaker. What really concerns me is Gerard and Clan Ventru. They have not suffered either. And it is by that and other reasons that I would very strongly recommend you to move. What measure of resources is available to you?
I have some. Um, and some of the nobles look favorably upon me. I've worked my way into one of the noble houses.
Good, very good. She smiles, and they've sat down at this point, and she just smiles to you and just nods. That will help.
Yeah, Irene has, after first shock on her face of everything that has happened in the palace, or at least everything that Madeline has told her, she's obviously trying to keep her composure a bit more smooth and hopefully a little bit more what she presumes to be the sombre-ish. But from time to time, there's like this little like twitch or sharp intake of breath, and all in all, yeah, like I said before, she looks tired in a way.
Hmm.
Um, I guess I could find some place to stay at. Don't know how quick I could, but I can try. But I don't think anyone really knows that I'm here, or even where here is. Like I told some people that I'm staying at Ulrich's old haven, but
I would very much like to avoid loose ends or uncertainties.
I
If
understand.
hostilities truly begin, well, I would be fairly furious at myself if I had not at least closed this potential weakness.
I am a weakness now.
No,
I understand. I mean, I'm only a fledgling. I understand.
no, I meant this place.
Mm.
This house is known to people. That makes it for any one of us to stay here more than a couple of days from now a weakness. Any of us gets captured, and that is a weakness as well. That is why I moved within 2 days of the prince's death.
Mm.
You are many things, Irene. And she just holds one of your hands, and she seems fairly genuine as she looks at you. But I would not call you weak. There's a certain will in you. It needs tempering. It needs direction. But it is there. And the weakness is nothing to be ashamed of. It is things to overcome. You have much to learn,
I
sure, but acknowledge them for what they are.
I may not be weak, but I can still be someone's weakness, and I do realize that I am.
As much as
I
I can.
understand that if certain people, if, well, I mean, not that I would know anyone, but if enemies of Timoran or of the La Sombra would get a hold of me in some way, I know that that would be a problem, at least for Prince Ulrich. So I understand, and you are right. I will keep this place for pretense, though.
Very good.
Potentially think of a trap to set in the place where I used to sleep. But I will need some time to find a new place, as I have no idea where to go.
I can provide some financial assistance if you require it.
I don't think financial is most of the problem. I have never I have not had any experience with setting up one's own haven. I am unfamiliar with how to best arrange security and things like that.
Fewer windows to start with. Many doors inside the house. Many places that lead nowhere, so that the search is more likely to, well, make noise when they intrude. More chances for you to waken, and more time for people to assist you, should it be required. Few doors, and might I suggest a basement, a deep basement, perhaps with several places where you could be able to sleep that could be covered up. Speaking from experience.
Thank you.
In time, perhaps I can teach you something that is, well, different. And Madeline will just. I know you are quite busy, and she looks at the letters. You are holding correspondence with quite a few people.
I was actually hoping if anyone had word of what has happened. I worry specifically about Johanna.
She lives. Barely. Oh, and by the way, have you been feeding? Have you been. You look tired.
I am afraid my rest was not very, well, restful. I had
Do not
dreams.
worry. A mother takes care of her young. And she smiles. She opens her satchel, and she will give you two small bottles.
She'll take them and look at them, but definitely. Oh God, yeah, you say the word mother. Oh fucking hell. Huh. Let me roll my manipulation subterfuge there for you, because that certainly, as soon as my character sheet wishes to open up, though I think I know my dice pool for this. Yeah, just gonna roll it. They're so slow that it will take me 10 minutes to just get to the right page.
That was not even planned from my point of view, but it makes total sense. Just saying.
Yeah, that's 3 successes.
I'll actually roll on that. With my, I think, 8 dice. Oh, you make it. Like, yeah.
Was it actually? Yeah, it's actually. I was correct in my roll. Yeah. So, yeah. Luckily, there is only the very slight hint of almost shock, and it's not visible to Madeline as she as Irene takes the bottles and kind of, checks them out, see if there's like a label or what. I mean, she
It's
she
one
can
more
guess what's
story.
inside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Please, if you are thirsty, drink.
She'll um yeah, she'll open up one and drink from that. She'll keep the other.
Madeline takes up two small vials herself and drinks one of them. Not too fast, somewhat slowly.
Oh yeah, like Irene is not drinking very fast either. She's actually kind of okay-ish on her blood right now. She was on 4, so that's why she's basically keeping the other bottle. Says, well, who knows when there might be an emergency.
Myself and my student, Torvald, have moved into a new haven. There is room there, but it will be totally up to you once you get relocated if you wished to stay. My door is open for the moment, but sin- until you get relocated, if you do not wish to partake in my offer, that is totally fine.
Mm. How fast do you want me to move? Like,
Honestly, I merely wished for this place not to be a liability to myself, to yourself, to Ulrich, or anyone. That is my primary concern. Staying with me is, well, of course, if you begin to post uh, posters around the city where I live, I might become a little, hmm, well, less hospitable. But as I say that is not the case, well, you can stay for as long as you would need to get relocated.
then I thank you very kindly for your offers, Lady Madeline, and for now I will accept it until I have set up a place for myself.
I would perhaps prefer it this way until we know what the Ventrus moves and the Cappadocians and, well, let us be honest, the
Everyone's.
Tremere, the Toreador, even the Malkavians, what all of their moves will be. I do believe that there is strength in numbers.
Hmm. I do believe that it can be the case. However, if there is some move that they want to make, and if they find out, then they have an easy target to hit both of us.
Oh, well, I do believe that we must have a very different definition of the word easy. She just smiles at you.
It's always easier to hit one place than to hit several. But I will pretend to stay here. But I will, if you.
It is my haven. It might not be the place that I sleep.
Hmm.
Like I said, I have become quite proficient at hmm, why, being quite hard to track. You must learn this in time, but do not worry yourself.
There are many things that I must learn in time.
Hmm.
Do you know, is Johanna, is she in her haven? Can I visit her?
I do not know. I have not spoken to her since I saw her being rescued by Aldrich once more.
I'll write to both of them then.
She was nearly dead. Had a hole in her stomach, all the way through. It looked as though it had been burned through.
I wish we could have stopped her.
Me too, dear. Me too.
So, besides, of course, the prince and the sheriff and Lady Johanna, did anyone else get injured?
Why? I have not heard from Aldrich. I do believe that Ulrich must have had contact with others. Perhaps he knows. There must have been members of the prince's own clan. I would truly not expect them to sit idly by.
Mm.
But I know precious little. The last couple of days have been filled with moving my things, my belongings, covering my tracks, and making certain that the immediate dangers would not impact myself or the clan.
I understand. I've been in Timuran for a while. After that night,
A better place than Odessa, well, given the circumstances.
a
But
happier place, for sure.
do tell me this, the night, the night the prince died, you were elsewhere occupied?
Yes,
With Ulrich?
yes.
Interesting. Please, do tell me.
He took us to some sort of a ruin. I think it was a similar place as that cave with the temple inside it. I'm not sure. We fought some strange creatures. An army, apparently. And there was a really old person, a Cainite, holding a stone slate. Apparently, it was guarding it. We he was sleeping. He didn't wake up, and we turned him into ash. Then all of a sudden there was this other person, a man, seemed to be all covered in red, like blood. Hmm. I don't really know what they were talking about. It sounded like something from Ulrich's past. And then the person covered in blood disappeared. Ulrich called him the Red Man or something? And Ulrich took the stone slate. He didn't want to tell me what it was. He kind of kept it away from me. I don't know why. And then we went back to Odessa.
Hmm. That is probably a very good thing that he kept it from you. If the Red
Why?
Man is involved, well, things are definitely heating up.
Do you know this person?
Oh, know this person quite well, yes.
I see.
You remember the city was once cold, purged from our kind?
Mm-hmm.
The Red Man was the only one who had lived here, who survived that.
I see.
I believe he is at least an elder of Clan Mercavia, perhaps even older. I could not say, and then honestly, I do not know if he could tell you. He is very, very potent in the blood, very old, and lost at the same time. He is a fascinating person, a person that gave me a harsh but very valuable lesson once.
He did tell Ulrich that it took him a long while to get here. But I think Ulrich can better explain to you what they discussed than I can.
In time. That is the thing with our kind. There is so much information that can be divulged, and for us it seems annoying or, well, problematic that we do not get this information, but we all forget too easily that certain things in our minds that we have been told can be plucked by those more potent than ourselves, and we might not even know that it is happening.
Hmm.
What is that role?
That was a subterfuge roll. There's something that you might catch from Eirene. So that's why I rolled.
Nope.
Nope. Well,
It's not Madeline's day today.
obviously. Well, that's good. I mean, meh. So, besides relocating, what are our plans? Is there anything I can do?
For the moment, no. There might come a time in the near future where I would perhaps ask a small favor of you for my hospitality, but do not worry yourself. It will be a very mundane task.
Anything me or my coterie can do to help out?
Very good.
I am sure that Lord Ecleos and Circle Friend will think the same.
And that's very good to hear.
She actually looks at at some of the letters, and she'll take a few of them out and just throw them in like the fire of the hearth. Well, I suppose that I'll be packing some of my stuff then.
Please,
Is
if
there?
you do you require assistance with it?
I'm not planning to take everything. If I want to make it look like I still live here, and then, well, I will simply take some clothes and some books.
Well, I do believe that your sire would have me offer you mm, books if you require it for your further education. Is this something you would want?
I would really appreciate it, Lady Madeline.
I would think so. I keep some things in Edessa, but most of it is secured in Timaran.
Mm.
Safety concerns, but I might be able to share some books with you. Heighten your understanding of mm, well, our clan's more unique aspects.
It would be an honor to learn some more. I Prince Ulrich has allowed me to stay in the city of Timaran again.
Hmm, that is good.
I told him I wanted to complete my task before I would truly return back to Timaran, but it was nice to be back there for a few nights. Didn't realize how my past. Oh shit, I actually should have rolled one die less. God damn it. Oh well. Let me see, would it have mattered much? No. Okay. Madeline, could I ask you perhaps for another favor?
She smiles. Well, ambitious? That is good. Please, tell me.
It is merely some information. You know the city better than I do. I need well, I need someone to make me a dress. Not just, a simple dress, like I know where to get those, but something more exquisite. I'm looking for a jeweler of some sort. Do you happen to know any?
Hmm. Is this for a special occasion or more of a permanent thing?
Oh, let me roll it right without one die less. Yeah. Well, that's a fail. So when Madeline asked that, Irene is actually kind of looking down as she's trying to suppress a smile and a twinkle in her eyes. It's it's a special occasion.
Hmm, I see. A sweetheart?
Again, because I failed that roll, there's like that same kind of almost beaming smile again. Um, I mean, yes.
Someone I know?
Lady Madeline, please.
Oh, you must indulge me a little. I wish to know who you are being seen with. If I can accept this.
I'm,
She's obviously joking at some level.
I mean, if she could actually blush, like without actually having to, actively spend blood, she definitely would. I think I'm not sure if you would approve actually. She
Ah, she just says, a certain coterie, mate, I presume?
no.
Oh, then I am intrigued.
Um, Madeline, you have to promise to keep this a secret from everyone.
Of course.
It's Ulrich.
Hmm. She very warmly smiles at you. Oh, that is good to hear.
Really?
The two of you are close? I knew this, but not that close. You know that I was very close to Ulrich once. I still am. But, well, let us say that I am. The two of us went our different ways. He understood this. There is no blood. Well, we still work very closely together, of course. But him and I are also quite different in many other aspects. But I
He,
seem to think that the two of you are perhaps more alike.
he, he proposed.
Did he now? Oh, well, that is something I did not expect. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Hmm. I suppose there is a certain. I do not know if it is just men. They seem to, when they can, go for a. And she almost kind of laughs to herself. Younger women?
I haven't. I mean, I do not know. I
It is
haven't.
quite alright. We are not, in appearance at least, not that different, but age wise. But he puts a lot of faith in you, and I believe, well, I trust his judgment. And given some of the things that you have divulged to me, I begin to see why.
I can only try and make his fate be justified.
Well, I hope you make him very happy.
I hope so too, but
Is it for the ceremony itself?
mhm.
Well, I cannot say that I have anything particularly for that. You can. I can hear a good seamstress. I can find something appropriate for this.
He wants to keep it a secret, though.
Well, then you must ask him that, while it might be a secret for most, that hear him, please, if I am allowed to be at least invited to the ceremony. I would very much appreciate this.
I'll see if I can talk him into it.
And if he politely, or if he says that I am not invited, I will not be offended. I can understand certain things. He would want to be kept quite private. I understand. Then, in that case, I would merely wish him a very heartily congratulations as well.
I'll see what I can. I'll see what I can do. I would very much like to have you present. I still have
Well,
to get used to the
you might
entire.
be able to. Well, you know what? There is. Well, he knows most of my clothing and jewelry, really. But I could not borrow you some, but gift you some.
You really should not do that. It's
Please, I must give some gift.
if you insist. But there is no pressure. I just need to think of something to give him. I feel like I need to. Would you know of something that he would appreciate? You know him longer than I do.
Oh, yes. Well, I know of quite a few things you would appreciate. But things that he would appreciate in gift form, that is a little bit harder to pinpoint. I would have to give it a bit of thought, of course. Mm. You and Ulrich are getting married. A very, very good thing to hear. I must ask you, why would you think I would disapprove of this?
Ulrich is in so many things. Well, so much more than I am.
Well, think of it like this. Both for yourself and him, for the both of you. This is just one more thing to remind yourself that you are still human. And that is one of the things that matters the most to him.
Yes.
I do believe he wishes this to strengthen both of you in your grip, your ironclad hold on the beast. Take it for that.
I shall. Perhaps I'm a dreamer, but I wished it could be a more, well, a less secretive occasion.
A grand display? A ball? I must say, I cannot say that I envy you. The prospect of marriage is not something that suits me well, I believe. And let us face it, I do not believe that would fit a person that, mm, well, some of the people I tend to stay with, it would not suit them either.
I understand. I guess. I mean, there is there are many things that I do not know about you, Lady Madeline.
That is true.
But I know the most important thing.
Do you now? That is quite a bold statement. I'm quite curious to hear what you say.
I know that Ulrich trusts you. And I know that you would not betray him or his trust.
No.
And that's the most important thing that I need to know.
Hmm. In a sense, I can understand that is the most important thing. Not for me myself, of course, but
Of
for
course.
you. For you, and that makes quite a lot of sense. Have you considered that this will probably bring you into even more danger?
I can understand that that's why Ulrich prefers to keep it secret.
There are some things, people, kindred, and I am quite certain other things that would perhaps not need to be told the secret to find out.
Hmm. I did not realize that.
Well, I suppose it is of little consequence, since you have already shown willpower to fight off his quarries once before. It is quite an accomplishment.
I will continue to fight. Whatever way is necessary.
That's the spirit. She just, like, there's a bit of a change when you say that, when she responds to that. And she just seems like a bit more genuine in her smile. Not that she hasn't been genuine, but it seems she seems a little bit more intense as you say that. Now that the challenges come regardless, constantly. You can either crumble, complain that they are too much. Or you can meet them head on and let them improve you. Although it will be a long road for you, as it was a long road for myself, I do believe that you will be able to see it through.
I know that I will give it, well, everything I have. I have discovered there is much more to the life of being a Cainite than I first thought there would be. And I hope I will be enough. And I hope that I can face anything that's, well, that I will see in the future.
Hmm. May I ask a very personal question?
You may ask.
Have the two of you shared blood?
He is my sire.
And what's not exactly what I meant. He has given you blood, of course.
Yes.
Has he tasted of yours?
No.
Hmm. Do not be offended if this will not happen. He has quite a few challenges. He must keep his head very clear.
I
The two of us, through our 30 years working together, before I left, we never shared blood, not once. It was a mutual understanding. Not that we did not trust each other, not that we were not inclined to. I was. I know, at one point I was. No. It is because, however good it might feel, emotional attachment begins to cloud your judgment. It is a choice. But well, I'm getting carried away. It is an interesting development, I must say. I do
I
have
do
some jewelry
understand.
you must receive as a gift. Other than that, I do believe that I know a very good seamstress.
If you would be kind enough to introduce me to her.
Well, I can take your measurements to her.
If you would please.
I will see what is. Well, perhaps I can get something made for myself. That would perhaps. You must understand. If I were to introduce you, It would raise suspicions. If I wish for a dress to this occasion, to an occasion like this, well, perhaps it would raise fewer suspicions. She just seems to measure you up. We are roughly the same size, are we not? She just beckons you to stand.
Yeah, Irene will stand up. I think they would be.
Hmm. Yeah, and Madeline just puts her hands on Joanna's hips and just kind of measures out and just, yes, I do believe quite so. Yes. Yeah, that, yes, yes. I do believe this will work. I could very easily. Perhaps. Hmm. Yeah, I will give the measurements. They will make it and I will bring it to you. People will think it is just me indulging in getting a new dress.
Thank you, Lady Madeline. I will make sure that any expenses you make will be paid for.
Hmm. Well, I thank you, Lady Irene. Now, in return, I would ask that I join the two of you in the wedding bed on the night. No, I am kidding, of course.
Oh God.
As she just sees you almost kind of explode.
Yeah.
Just, oh, please, Irene, you must allow me to have my fun. Was a joke, a bad joke perhaps, but well,
Oh, right.
I could give you a pointers of what he likes, of course. But I assume the two of you have already been intimate.
No,
Hmm.
of course not.
Well, you can look forward to it. He is quite proficient.
I mean, you don't need to be any Irene to see that, like, this is clearly a subject that A, she has no experience with, and B, feels very uncomfortable talking about. Which you could have probably expected, like.
Yeah, like yes. But Madeline seems to just like this is just girl talk. Like this seems fairly natural to her.
Irene tries to come up with a proper response and fails. Kind of like actually one of her old signs of her getting a bit uneasy is like she's starting to like uh strike over her leg, kind of feeling the fabric of the dress that she's wearing, which is somewhat of a nervous tick that she kind of got rid of.
Hmm.
Well, it's just like in this
Madeline
situation
just looks at
popping up.
her and just smiles. I am sorry if I make you uncomfortable. As I said, you and I are quite different, and I am quite different from Ulrich. I do think you will appreciate your candor a lot more.
I'm I am not familiar with these kind of conversations. I was never I was never destined to be someone's wife or to even be involved with men.
Oh, were you destined or doomed to join the cloistered life as well?
My father was planning to send me to Delhi. In Greece, it's my father, despite being a Christian, he enjoyed the old stories. There was an oracle there, and women tended to it.
You will hear like the slight cracking of wood splintering.
There's a monastery now, but my father thought it was a suitable location.
Yeah, the one of the handrests on Madeline's chair breaks as she just shatters it with her fist. But she just seems like there is just a thing in like her lip, and just like the right side of her, there's just a tick with her lip, and she just says, "Well, at least you were rescued from such a fate."
I knew it wasn't my fate, but
You were rescued. She very clearly states that as she looks at you.
I suppose.
Trust me, my dear. I know you were. Having spent my life up until I was 15, 16, I can tell you you were saved.
I am sorry
Well,
for the.
there's nothing to be sorry about. It just made my liberation all the sweeter, and my drive to improve myself, to see what had been done to me, all the harder, and my well, conquering of myself, all the more liberating. But it does not mean that I do not somewhat loath to see it happen to others, or, or be attempted to be done to others.
However you feel about it, I was trained to live that life, and I never. That's not true. Like I said, I knew once I saw the Lady Celine, I knew that the direction that my life was going to take was not going to be dictated by my father's will. And she accepted me and helped me on the path that I am on now, for which I will always be grateful. But
You should know already now that in a certain way, perhaps more than ways than one, you are already stronger than Lady Celine.
I highly doubt that.
She left. She gave up. She
I
left a child.
I do not know why she left. Perhaps there were reasons. I will not judge her so readily. That is not for me to do. That is not my place. She can be judged by those who feel the need to judge her. I will be grateful for what she has given me, and even her leaving has brought me something that I did not dare to dream. It set me on the path, being Ulrich's child.
And the wife?
Indeed.
So you are to be
So
married. I surely hope that I am able to come to the ceremony.
I will do my best.
Good.
I would love for you to be there. But I do have your promise that you will not tell any soul of this.
Your secret is safe.
It is not my secret. As I said, I always despised my sisters and looked down on them for, you know, worrying about nothing but fabric and flowers and poetry and men. But looking back on it now, I think it might have been a little bit of envy there as well. I do still think that they were shallow, but finding myself in this situation, I wish that I could shout it out.
Hmm.
I wish I could tell everyone. I know I cannot. I promised, and it is Ulrich's wish. But it is definitely his desire to keep it secret, and, well,
Well,
I
think of
understand the
this.
wisdom of it.
Not only is it human, very human indeed, to find love between two people, to marry, perhaps not have children, but think of how natural it is for most humans to copulate, to have children, or at least to share in each other's company. It is quite a human thing. And trust me, you will enjoy it.
I I hope so.
I know this makes you very uncomfortable, but I can give you quite a few pointers if you wish so.
I will think on that.
She kind of giggles, audibly giggles. As she will just do not worry though. Um, well, if this is a thing you have, you should expect to hear. If this sort of thing makes you uncomfortable, then I will find a place a bit away from my bedchambers then.
As said, I will think about it. I would like to please him, but I am. It is not a topic that I ever expected to deal with. Thus, it doesn't make me uncomfortable.
What matters most is that you are by his side. You are true to each other. I will admit this. He deserves a faithful wife. He deserves a wife that I believe it is very much in his nature that is by his side and does not betray him.
I would never betray him.
And I would. Do not misunderstand me. I would never betray him in the sense of saying something to an enemy or compromise his position or bring him into danger or anything like that. But in the affairs of the heart, Eventually I would. The question is, do you understand why I would do this?
I do not. I do know you walk a different path.
And this betrayal, loss, abandonment can be a very powerful thing. It can be a very, very useful thing to teach others.
Hmm.
And that is why I know that I can fully and truly support the two of you.
I think I understand. But I would say this. There are many forms of betrayal.
Oh,
Even
yes.
I have witnessed some, experienced some during the short time that I've had as a K-Knight. I I would say, even though I am not sure, that Ulrich has suffered through betrayal as well.
Of that there is very little doubt. For me, the question is just how much betrayal did he face and feel in Constantinople? But such are things that I will probably never get answers to. And if I do, it will be in in quite a long time before that those answers will be given to me. But I have taken up too much of your time. You have more than I realized to prepare for. She kind of winks at you.
She smiles, and despite her looking tired, she's beaming.
Well, congratulations once more. I will see if there's the possibility of a. Uh, are there any? Do you have any specific requests? That it is all white, or perhaps the color can be different, but it is only that it is regal and worthy of a princess.
I think that I can trust your judgment on this, as long as it is not well, too revealing.
Of course not. Good for a formal event, but to meet a prince in the most formal of events. The first introduction, perhaps.
Perhaps, yes. I said I will trust your judgment. Besides, I like some positive surprises from time to time.
Mm,
We've had enough problems. It's also why I am sad that we cannot turn this into an event. It
mm,
would be good for many, I think, to experience some form of happiness.
mm. That is, sadly, inviting disaster.
I understand. Despite me secretively, well, not so secretively, wanting to see or desiring that it could be different, I do understand the logic behind it.
Mm. Well, I will be looking forward to hearing what you come to of a decision.
Of course.
Have a very good evening.
And to you,
And
Lady Madeline.
Madeline will just Smile
Oh,
and
before you leave, please. If I am going to send over my things, where can I send them to? Or could you perhaps leave one of your ghouls here? I could replace him if you wish for a guard, so that they could show me the way.
of course, Gerard would be staying. Gerald,
Gerard.
Ger, yeah, one of her ghouls is called. It's spelled Geralt, or it's spelled
Mm,
Geralt. So it's,
yeah,
but
yeah,
it
Gerald.
sounds very much, and I didn't think about it when I named it. Yeah, I know.
Lol. I think it's actually hilarious that you have a cool ghoul called Gerard. That would be great.
It's like, yeah, you're Gerard now. When I think of you, Gerard, no. But yeah, she will just say, "Hmm, sure, I will leave him here. He will show you.
Thank you kindly. And yeah,
But
Irene,
we'll
and
only be taking you to see it.
of
Let us
course.
not give too many hmm, of these guards the knowledge of where my new haven is.
I understand.
Very good. And yeah, Madeline begins to leave.
Yep, Irene will show her out. She'll like, politely and everything. Mm, Yeah, I guess we can end it there as Irene returns to her study and her writing and then starts like packing things up.
Thank you very much, players, for playing, and watchers for watching. Good night.